Hello, divine beings. It is Saint Imthrift Day, D Apology, they, them pronouns. And I was just about to go to bed, y'all. I got my night whites on. I got my bonnet on. I'm moisturized. I'm fully decompressed. Nervous system drained. Lymphatic system drained. Each and every cell of my body is relaxed. And I put my head down. And it just started. The channeling just started. And I was like, I'm going to sit here, listen to these words. I'm going to get up and do something about it. So I decided to get up and channel. So I've opened up this space. And the topic today is, or rather tonight, is the beauty of a tower moment. Now, there is energy of this going on in the collective, as this is a time of another round of spiritual awakenings for folks. There have been several rounds, starting the main ones, the big call to awaken the masses, especially the star season light workers who would be leading, was in 2020 during the pandemic. Y'all remember when that happened? Y'all remember when that was a thing? And since then, there have been other waves of spiritual awakenings for folks. And if you are experiencing a tower moment now, do know that you had an earlier call, and I'm hearing it was ignored. Or maybe you didn't understand it. Many are called to awaken to the truth of who they are, to the truth of this world and universe. Some don't answer. Some answer and lose or find themselves lost along the way, and some simply have difficulty making it across the finish line. And so, regardless of where you are in the process, there is beauty in this too, as someone who has experienced a tower and fall for a different reason. It wasn't necessarily because I ignored the call to awakening, but I know how it feels to seemingly fall from grace. But the thing is, grace is always around, always with us. And this is beautiful because you are an aspect of consciousness, an aspect of the infinite creator embodied in human form. And your higher self, your spiritual team, the infinite creator, loves you so much that they are willing to see you experience an hardship where you seemingly lose everything that you may know or identify with or claim for the purpose of your growth and evolution. There is that saying that the universe whispers first before it screams, and then boom, the tower falls. For your growth and evolution. Because when you are experiencing a tower moment, it's because that which is in your life has been built on faulty foundations of illusions and delusions and is not aligned to your truth, the true version of yourself, and thus the life, the career, the people, places, situations that are aligned and attuned to that version of yourself. That version of yourself that exists within the etheric blueprints held in your throat chakra, which is associated with the fifth dimension. It means that you are ascending from the fourth, which is your heart chakra, associated with the element of air, into the fifth dimension of unconditional love and the beginnings of peace. This is a part of the mass awakening, the mass earth shift. Read Dolores Canning, The 3 Waves of Volunteers. And so, if you are awakening during this time, you are part of the light seers, interesting seers. Some of you are awakening your clairvoyance and you're seeing things. That's fun, right? When you start to see things and you're like, hold on. I think my vision has been turned to a different channel, and you're questioning what you're seeing and experiencing, if it's real or not. And so part of this process of you awakening as a starseed and light workers is understanding the true nature of why you came here. It wasn't for that three-dimensional 9 to 5 life that you've been living, and there's a reason why you felt so unfulfilled in it. Or the relationships that you had, there's a reason why they didn't feel right in your soul. And so if you've held on to a life, to a way of being, to a sense of self and identity that is not in alignment with your truth, the truth is the true version of yourself encoded within your soul, then it will eventually crumble because it's not built on a real foundation. And wouldn't you want it to crumble? Wouldn't you want all that has been built on illusions and delusions to fall? Wouldn't you want a life of falsity to be revealed to you? Or would you want to remain in that state of ignorance, of knowing and feeling that this ain't right, but not sure what is? And so the beauty of experiencing a tower moment is that by force, yes, it is not in your will. You are being guided through unconditional love to that which is true by removing all that isn't aligned. You are guided and shown all that has not been for you and was not meant for you to experience. So it can create space for what is to emerge. So it can create space for that version of you, that highest version of you, where you are fulfilling your highest potential, whatever that be encoded within your blueprint, to emerge. That version of you that is in peace, that is experiencing a deep connection with your soul, with source, with all beings, that is in unity, perfect harmony and unity within, with your higher self, your multidimensional selves, and with source. And so this is another wave of starseed lightworkers awakening, because you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to move in the world as that which you are. Yes, we are all multidimensional beings, and some of us came here specifically to assist Earth in a specific way. And so if you've been playing this three-dimensional game of this physical reality, so steeped in the illusions of the duality that exists, you are now being woken up to the truth nature of oneness. To give you a higher perspective, y'all, this universe was created by higher dimensional galactic beings who wanted to create a world, a perfect world. That was Earth. Earth is a part of that experiment. And if one of the characters that you are playing is having some issues because they have completely identified themselves with their mind and their ego and their status and their title and their career, with their body, then you're going to, from a higher dimensional perspective, allow that character to experience the struggle and the hardship of that tower moment falling, so that they can see that truth of they are not their mind and they are not their body. So I invite you into this practice. This is an Isha Kriya practice by Sadhguru, where you can Google it online, and also have it in my videos of my own personal practices. You breathe in, I am not the mind. You breathe out, I am not the body. There's also a practice of I am, which you breathe in, I, breathe out, am. And what this does is this begins to detach you from your mind and your body and all of the mental constructs associated with it. everything you know and think you are. It creates that space between you and your ego so that truth can come in and be illuminated there, truth that is already exists. And so, in this process of ascension or spiritual awakening or enlightenment, however, whatever folks want to call it or deem it or term it, learning to spiritually detach yourself from your ego and all that you identify with is necessary and key to growing and evolving, not just only spiritually, but in consciousness, in your awareness, and in your embodiment of higher dimensionality, multi-dimensionality. So including this into your day when you find yourself looking around you and things are falling apart and you're struggling because you might be trying to hold on to things that are meant to fall. 11:11 on the clock. 11 is the number of enlightenment. It is the number of bringing light to something. 11:11 is also associated with wish fulfillment and Aquarius. And so we have here that things are being illuminated for you regarding what it is you truly desire. The true desires of your soul that have been knocking at the door for so long. And as things fall, then the question is, are you ready to listen and to embrace that which has already and always been there? Aquarius is associated with the sign of the water bearer. It's also an air sign. And so the water words, I like to call it water words of wisdom, words that nourish the soul. And so that's what I'm offering you today, is an understanding that the beauty of a tower moment is a clearing away of the old and the past and what is no longer aligned for there to be a new day. One that is aligned to your soul, to your higher self, to your consciousness embodied in human form, to source. And that if you are a starseed and light worker, earth angel watching, listening to this, that you know and understand that you have a purpose here on this earth, and that, yes, was to awaken and to remember that you are a starseed, and to also come into that awareness and regain the skills and abilities associated with your blueprints, etheric blueprints, to shine your light in the world. That the life that you thought you were meant to live and that you were living is not the one for you. And there have been, and I say this because in 2019, I was working a corporate job. And I was so unhappy. I was making money, y'all, making bank, making more money than my family has ever seen, having been raised in relative poverty in the hood. And I just knew, I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. I just couldn't do it. It was literally, I felt like working that job was sucking me dry, was sucking my life force energy. I couldn't do it. And I knew I had to leave. And so I tried to leave as soon as I could, and Spirit was like, you need to stay here and save some money. And so I did, and eventually I was able to make the leap into something else, nonprofit. I knew that wasn't working, and then eventually I was like, I just can't do this, and quit the 9-to-5 life and never looked back. Has there been hardships for me? Yes, of course. Financial instability? Yes. Yep. A lot of confusion of what life would be? Yep. But in that process of me saying, you know what, I'm going to honor that this isn't feeling right. I'm going to honor that this ain't right. And I want to honor that. I want to live a life of passion and purpose and a life of pleasure, dare I say. where it feels good, a life of freedom and joy and peace. There were certain qualities I wanted to live. I didn't want to work to live. Wait, I didn't want to work to live or live to work. I wanted my work to feel like play. That each and every day I woke up just excited because it wasn't work to me. It was me simply being paid to be myself. And so the question that you're being guided to is, what was the life you wanted to live before you lived the life that is falling apart? That wish fulfillment, whether it be a person, place, thing, environment, career, job, lifestyle, what was that life? Because right now we are in the middle of the Lionsgate's portal, which is 888, a portal of immense transformation and spiritual growth and evolution, and can also bring freedom, spiritual awareness, a higher spiritual awareness, and abundance. It is an activation of the Lyran energies. And Lyrans are the original progenitors of the humanoid form and race of Earth. They're literally the ancestors of the human form that created the human form. It is the activation of that Leo lion energy, of that heart energy. So you might want to look at Leo, where Leo exists within your chart, and see what sign, planets, and houses it is, to see what is being activated when it comes to your heart's desires, what you truly wanted and cared for. You might want to look at trines as well at this time, in conjunctions, to see what it is associated with, and then oppositions to see any areas of tensions, and squares to see any areas of tensions. Oppositions to see areas of balancing, right? And then squares to see any tension. So the beauty of a Tower moment is the opportunity for renewal and rebirth that is more aligned to your soul's truth, that is more aligned to your authentic self, that is aligned to you being your freest, biggest, boldest, brightest, happiest self, instead of feeling potentially confined or restrained. It's that freedom of being, and that is what is being offered to you. The freedom to be free, to feel free, and then to attract people who resonate because you are living in truth. And so when you live in truth, truth attracts truth. You attract those who resonate to you and can see you and understand you and love you for being simply you, in all your authenticness and all your weirdness. But first, it takes you getting to know you, getting to know the version of your ego that is in harmony with your higher self, so your higher true self, getting to know it's befriending your ego as an aspect of yourself, right? Knowing that you are not your ego, you are not your mind, you're not your body, you're not your status, you're not your title, you're not your money, you're not none of that. You are an infinite spark of consciousness traveling through time that found its way into a human body to serve, to share your light, to share your truth. But to do that, you must live in truth. You must vibrate at the frequency of truth. To live a life of truth means you must embody it. Live it, breathe it. It must be you. And so this tower moment is calling you to lean into what is falling apart and look around and be like, wow, I'm grateful. Because if all this is falling apart, then that ain't it. That ain't it. Every time I, in the past, would come across, like, I knew a shift was happening when I would look around at the people, the places, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. I'd be like, this ain't it. If this ain't it, then I know a change is coming because, this can't be it. And so look around in gratitude and be like, okay, if this ain't it, then what is? Get curious. Get curious. If this ain't it, and if this wasn't it, then what is? Question. And allow yourself to sit in that place of stillness and meditation and set that attention to connect to the truth of your soul, to connect to your higher self that has always been there, waiting for you to tap in and tune in and ask to be shown the truth of you, to be guided. And when you are shown, listen. Because when a tower moment happens, there are many reasons a tower moment happens, but in this case, I'm being told that it's because you were ignoring the signs, you were being stubborn, and that's okay because, sometimes we develop being headstrong as a trait to get us through tough times because it assisted us in the past, certain characteristics you may have. But then there are times when that headstrongness doesn't serve you. And so I invite you to set that intention 2 on the timer. This is all about coming into harmony with your higher self, stepping into the highest, greatest version of yourself and healing. Soul healing, heart healing. One thing I say is, and if I'm in the process of change and I notice that I was experiencing resistance in the past for my ego, I would simply say, I release what no longer serves me through grace and ease, effortlessly. I release what no longer serves me through grace and ease, effortlessly. I release what no longer serves me through grace and ease, effortlessly. As a mantra. So that with the I am not the mind, I am not the body. And I just gave y'all a host of questions that you can write down and really just get into it with yourself. To ask yourself in that space of stillness, sacred space within, and listen and see what comes up. And dare to be curious and open-minded because you have been shown the answer. And for those of you like, I don't know, what answer? What? Ask for the answer to be revealed. If this ain't it, then what now? Guide me. Oh, you. Higher self, source, God, universe, all it don't matter what you call it, y'all. It's all made up of the same stuff. It's all the same. That's what they don't want you to know. It's all the same. So this is a time of new beginnings, of a lot of change and transformation. If you are experiencing a tower moment. But no, it's also an exciting time because then it's like, oh wow, I just been freed of all this stuff that you might have been holding back, that might have been holding you back from living a life. And now that you're free of it, then you can rebuild it anew. And if you know how to build, then you can build it true. All right? That was the message, y'all. I also want to leave you with this last, this is a mantra that helps attune you to the vibration of truth. Om is the vibration of the universe, it's oneness. Satya means truth. So it's coming into oneness with your truth. And I'm going to say it here to help you, attune you now. Om Satya Om Satya Om Satya You are not the mind, and you are not the body. You are an infinite spark of consciousness traveling through time and space. And you came here for a purpose, encoded within your DNA in your etheric blueprint that is ready to be activated. Release what no longer serves you and allow the truth of who you are to come to the surface of your being, so you may step fully into your higher self and shine your light by being your true self in perfect harmony and balance within, in unity with your higher self, and eventually Source. Ask yourself those questions and allow yourself to look in a direction you didn't think could be true, because you might just realize that it was always meant for you, if you are willing and if you're brave enough to choose. All right, y'all. 2828. Harmonious transformation is being offered to you. Allow what doesn't resonate anymore to fall and say good riddance, and look forward to the rising, knowing that there is a new day ahead. Now, I'm gonna go to bed. Oh gosh. Wherever, whenever you are, I hope you don't take yourself for granted, because I don't take you. Take care deeply. I love you. You are eternally protected and guided and supported on your journey in this incarnation. With love, may you go in peace.